How many of you have MySpace pages? How many of you are thinking, well, we should just set MySpace? What is on my MySpace account? If you aren't, you should be. Because recruiters and hiring managers are doing all kinds of internet searches for you. So we may think you're a great fit, and then we see your MySpace account, which is naked photos, you drunk, passed out on the couch, who knows what it is, and that can really affect your job search. So while it doesn't necessarily have to do with resumes per se, think about how your personal life can and will affect your professional one in terms of resume. Okay, so the preachy 6 hints are over. So let's talk about what companies look for in a resume.
Oh, let me add one.
Yeah, add one.
Change your voicemail on your cell phone.
Yes.
Don't sound like a kid anymore.
Right there with you. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And change your email address too.
Oh, yes.
Let me like cool boy 450.
That's right.
I actually have had sexy fang at gmail.com. It's like, I mean, you're here, you're working on a college degree, you're probably looking for a job that might require some leadership. So focus on leadership that you've done either in clubs, group projects, past employment, anything that you can show that shows some leadership. Relevant coursework, only relevant coursework. And I say this because, again, harsh reality, I don't care that you've taken Management 101 and all the basics. Tell me what the courses are that are relevant. And don't just list numbers, because most of us out in the working world haven't been in college lately and maybe didn't attend the same college that you went to. So we don't even know what that number means. So think about relevant coursework and maybe the title rather than the number. We look for growth. Did you start out as a receptionist in a job and maybe you got promoted to office manager? Whatever it is, show some growth on your resume.
Now that you have this resume, the least probable way is to go out and post it after you didn't do anything. After that, what's the book? Okay, let's go to the other end. What is the most probable way you'll ever find a job? Most probable. Greatest chance of getting a job.
Networking.
Networking. How many of you are already networking? Show of hands. Excellent. That's more than most people. Networking is the best way. Absolutely, hands down. And it's actually the least threatening. It's the most interesting because you get to meet lots of different people. So now, if you're networking already, what do you do with your resume in a networking meeting? Anyone have a suggestion of what you tried? What have you tried? What's worked?
Well, an information meeting where I just met with the vice president, and I happened to have my resume. I just said towards the end of the meeting, I said, I have my resume here. I'm not looking for a position, but in the case that anything opens up it might fit or an internship, here's my resume. And so I gave it to him. 6 months later, he called me up with an internship, which I just finished. Okay, that's a very effective technique. Because what he really did is just hand it to him. But I'll give you a variation on that, which is even more likely to get the resume across the desk. Because one of the things you don't want is if we say, well, I don't really have anything right now. So out of politeness, a lot of people will accept it. But at the end of a networking is to say, I have my resume and I would appreciate it if you give me your opinion on it. I'm out doing networking, I'm still informational, I still like learning. What do you think of my resume? Do you mind? No one will mind giving you any opinion on people like giving their opinions. So you'll hand it across to them, that person will politely look at it, and they will give you an opinion. And this is the next problem. What do you do with the opinions? Don't do anything with the first opinion. You want to actually look for a chain or a consistent theme in what you get back. Because if you change it every single time you talk to someone, you're going to go nuts. Because everyone's got opinions about what they like on their resume. It's just like clothes or anything else. But if you start hearing the same thing, like this doesn't have much on this, or can you say more, then you start saying, oh, people really want to know that, I really need to do that. A lot of people will keep your resume. If they hand it back to you, that's fine. But if they don't, that's also fine.